Hey stranger. So, I just want to preface this video by saying that my video editing software hasn't been working since I switched to Windows 10. So, the software that I was using for all the jump cuts and everything like that, I haven't been able to use. So, I've been having to switch to a free software that doesn't really do much for me other than align my audio and video. So, my videos are going to be kind of like one cut. From now on until I can get my hands on some other reliable video editing software. But other than that, jumping right into the video topic, I wanted to make a video about something that someone asked me about in the comments of my last video, but is also something that I get asked about a lot. So I figured it was a topic that probably a lot of people want to hear about, and that is changes on low-dose testosterone. So I guess I'll just get straight into that. I obviously did and am on low-dose testosterone. I haven't talked about my decision to go back on it, but I personally didn't find it that difficult to get my hands on resources about low-dose testosterone. I mainly used Nutois.me, which is Mika R's blog. They are a Nutois person who physically transitioned in various ways, and they wrote a blog all about their experiences, and their website is just an amazing resource for everything to do with AFAB, non-binary transitions, so I will definitely link to that in the description, and if that's something that you're looking into, then their website will be a great resource for you. As far as my own personal experience, which seems to be what I get asked about the most. I obviously have been and continue to be on low-dose testosterone, and so I started in October 2013. I started on a standard dose of 50 milligrams a week, and I found that to be way too much for me. The changes seem to be happening way too quickly. I'm also about 115 pounds soaking wet, so I feel like for my body type, it just was too high of a dose, and I don't think that, like, I wish my starting dosage had been more specific to my needs and my body type, but after that I went down to, I went down to 100 milligrams every 2 weeks, and then I went down to 50 milligrams every 2 weeks, and then I wound up stopping because I had to get a surgery, and then I was off for several months, and then I went back on for a few months, and then I stopped in, I think, August last year, so almost a year ago, and then I went on again last month, so I was off testosterone for about a year, and I decided to go back on. So what I'll say about the changes on low-dose testosterone, first of all, the changes that you do and do not experience are heavily dependent, just like any testosterone therapy, are heavily dependent on the genes in your family. So I didn't get facial hair. Most of the men in my family don't have very much facial hair. My brother is 2 years older than me, and he barely has any facial hair, so that wasn't really something that I was concerned about. And yeah, but if you do have a lot of body hair in the men on your side of the family, then even if you're on low dose, then that might be something that happens to you. That's, really dependent. As far as other changes, I found that my voice was the first thing to really happen. So that started dropping about 3 weeks after I started testosterone and continued to drop pretty steadily. My face got kind of bonier and more angular, and just generally more masculine looking. My throat, or my whatever this is, expanded so that my neck and face area generally just looked more masculine. I do have a bit of an Adam's apple. It's not very particularly noticeable. You probably can't even see it at all right now. Kind of. But, so that happened. Also, one of the first things to happen, TMI warning for genitals, is that you will grow a dick. That's all I'm going to say. So the thing about low dose testosterone as compared to regular dose testosterone is I feel like a lot of non-binary people go on low dose because they kind of want to be able to pick and choose like what changes they get. Like they want a more masculine face, or they want different fat distribution, or they want a lower voice or something like that, but maybe they don't want facial hair or like things like that. Like you want to kind of be able to custom tailor your results of your hormone treatment. And the problem is that is not possible. So basically the way that low dose testosterone works is exactly the same way that regular dose testosterone works. It just happens slower. So that's the way it is. So whatever changes that you would get on full dose testosterone, you will get those just like over the course of years rather than over the course of months. And so I feel like a lot of non-binary people probably will want to go on and off, or just go on for a certain period of time and then stop. And that was my plan. So I went on and off for a year, and then I was off for a year, and I kind of thought that would be it, but then I felt like I could do a bit more of it. So now I'm back on again for the time being, and the dose that I'm at right now is 40 milligrams every 2 weeks, so 80 a month, which is pretty low. But I feel comfortable at this dose. I think that this has been the best dosage that I've been at so far. It's not too high, it's not too low. But yeah, so as far as going on and off testosterone, when you go off testosterone, most of the changes will not revert. So as far as your voice, if you do grow any facial or body hair, it might start coming in slower, but it won't, like you won't lose any hair that you get on testosterone, and your voice will not go back to the way it was before testosterone. As far as your fat distribution, I didn't really experience much, and if you're planning on going on low dose testosterone because you want to get rid of your hips or something like that, I honestly wouldn't get your hopes up, because that kind of thing happens over a very long period of time for people who are on normal dose testosterone. It does happen a bit. I did find that I got a little bit muscle, like a little bit more muscle and a little bit skinnier, but it wasn't really like too noticeable. And so yeah, I wouldn't get your hopes up too much if you're just going on testosterone because you want like the fat redistribution. And if you go off testosterone, that will go back to the way it was for the most part. But yeah, your voice won't change. Any like genital changes that you've experienced won't really change, except you won't be able to get erections as much anymore. When you go on testosterone, you will have like morning wood and like unexpected boners and all of that great stuff. And that will kind of stop when you go off testosterone. But for the most part, most of the visible changes stay the same. I did find that my face kind of slowly softened over the year that I was off testosterone, which is why I decided to go back on. And so I'm not really sure how long I'm going to be on it for a while. I'm basically just going to stick with it again until I feel like I'm comfortable. But yeah, so as far as like going on and off repeatedly, I don't really have that much information about that specifically. I have heard from some people that it's not good for your endocrine hormone system to continuously go on and off. So if you're going off testosterone, then you should be going off. Like you like don't like miss doses or have your doses like spread really far apart. Like you're either on testosterone or you're not. So if you're going off testosterone, then it should be for a period of several months. And if you're going on testosterone, then it should be for a period of several months. You shouldn't just, do an injection here or there, because that'll really not be good for your system. And I'm not sure as far as like extended periods of being on testosterone and off testosterone like repeatedly, because I've only gone off 2 times, and I've been on 3 times. So I don't really know as far as like the long-term effects if you planned to do that for a long period of time of continuously doing like 6 months on, 6 months off or something for a long period. I don't know what that would do to your system. Someone told me that it might have a bad effect on your ovaries, but I don't know if they really knew what they were talking about, and I haven't really been able to speak to an endocrinologist who was versed in that kind of thing as far as risks to fertility or hormone production. Like, I can't really speak to that. I have tried to contact an endocrinologist about that, but non-binary specific people, like people who are good at working with non-binary people, are pretty hard to come by, so it's kind of hard to get into people like that. So yeah, that's pretty much my experience, and that's pretty much everything I know about it. So basically, like, AFAB people do have a benefit where when you go on, you can go for like a finite period of time, and most of those changes will stay the same. Like, I know people who have been on I know people who have been off testosterone for several years, and they still look like pretty masculine in their face and everything like that. Especially like if you get top surgery, then like you won't just like go back to like looking like as feminine as you might have looked before. So there's definitely a benefit in that way, but for me personally, I just don't feel like I went like quite far enough with it the first time, so I'm just back on it for however long I feel I need to, and I'm hoping that this will be the last time that I'm on testosterone, because I don't want to like risk screwing up my like hormone production or anything like that. Again, like, I don't have any solid information about that, but that's just kind of something that I'm paranoid about, because I don't want to be on testosterone for the rest of my life. So I'm just planning on kind of staying on it until I feel like I've reached the point where I could go off of it and be happy with the results that stay the same. And also I'm planning on getting top surgery, hopefully in the spring. I have no idea. And so I'm hoping that I'll just kind of be done after that. But yeah, so that's pretty much my experience and knowledge about low-dose testosterone. I'll link to Nutois.me, which is an excellent resource for it, and I'll also link to Janitor Queer, which is another similar blog about a low-dose testosterone non-binary person. If you have any questions about this video, any questions about my experience to do with low-dose testosterone, or if you would like me to make a video about a different topic, then definitely leave your questions, comments, concerns in the description. And that's all I have to say. So, peace out.